welcome to Game 2 in this best of 3 between Once Deep Sets and Spicy Thieves in the Premier Amateur Community League Season 2. KL had to knock off, so I brought in Rit for my analyst this game, and we're going to go ahead and get here into the draft. Pretty similar bands as we've been seeing. The same trio out from Once Deep Sets do not want to let Magi play that Storm Spirits, and are going to go ahead and get rid of that Treant Protector and Earthshaker, two very strong supports right now. In that first phase as well. Spicy Thieves, they're going a little bit different in at least two of their bans. They want to go ahead and get rid of the Axe and the Spirit Breaker from the previous game, but they are keeping the Centaur ban from before, leaving the PL in the pool with Axe and Centaur out. Once these sets are going to lead with Crystal Maiden. However, Spicy Thieves, even with the PL last game, they weren't able to make it work. So I'm gonna have to see how it's all going to turn out. And,
so it looks like Spicy Thieves, they are putting an emphasis on the offlaner. Who's WSTSS's offlaner?
That would be Mr. Ping Pong. And the Phoenix comes out from Spicy Thieves. So Spicy Thieves last game did ban the Phoenix. They pick it up for themselves this time. That could be their 3, could be their 4. Probably will be their 4 now with the Brewmaster pick. Very strong team fight here. It looks like Spicy Thieves are going to want to do some like early group up and push to end, win the game style of gameplay this game, instead of relying on that late game out of the PL or Windrunner.
Only 10 seconds.
That's always the conflict for me in the draft, is do you want to try and out team fight them, or just kind of try and rat them, or pick a totally different strategy altogether?
Yeah, in the end, Spicy Thieves were reduced to trying to rat, but they didn't really have the best team for it, so it didn't work that well for them. But with the Brewmaster and Phoenix, they should be able to take the team fights, which was how Once Deep Sets were playing last game. Like, they grouped up and pushed with 5-on-5 engagements just constantly. Like, we're going to take your towers if you don't come fight us, and, pulled Spicy Thieves into the fights and just won off of those.
One thing with the current meta, if you lose the lanes, there's no team fight mid-game.
That is true. But
and CM can do lanes well.
Yeah. Spicy Thieves have pretty good laners as well. CM has some difficulties right now versus a lot of the heroes that are big, but Sand King. So what do you think? 3 or 4 Sand King?
Probably 3. Not something you really see in the meta right now. I think a little undertuned is what I've heard about Sand King.
Alright, definitely not a 1 though. We did see, when did we see the 1 Sand King? That was
1 Sand King.
Yeah, that was, who was playing that? I don't remember. It was like back when the safe lane wasn't really a farmer so much as a tempo controller. Like, they would put the safe lane on a Tidehunter or a Sand King, or just anything along those lines, right?
Today, I heard it referred to not as the safe lane, as the death lane. That's kind of the way it's going right now.
Yeah. But the Invoker ban out for Once Deep Sets, once again targeted at Magi, has a very fantastic Invoker. And the Silencer out from Spicy Thieves. So they recognize they are fighting around, or they are drafting around the team fights, don't want to get interrupted by that global, and they probably don't want to draft the Silencer themselves with the Phoenix already out. Maybe they would. They could play it as a 5, but then they have like no stuns out of their support duos, so they do go ahead and get rid of that one. Once Deep Sets once again getting rid of the Tinker in the second phase, so same pair of bans in the second phase as before. In fact, Once Deep Sets have had the same bans this whole time, actually, or both these games. So all 5 bans have been the slightly different order in the first phase, but not that it matters too much for them. Spicy Thieves getting rid of the Zeus once again as well, pointing maybe towards a less of a lane dominating mid.
Only 10 seconds.
Or just a relatively weaker laner mid.
Several bans on mid.
Yeah, for both teams. So it's all the preferential mid laners are out. Could be a Medusa. Like, Medusa, I feel like still has this reputation of being a ridiculous late game carry, but I feel like as a mid, Medusa actually does a lot relatively early on. Like,
get some levels, yeah. That W can hit hard.
And you're really tanky just with levels without having to have a whole lot of items, and you can just build damage. So when you get your
Well, and
like
the
your level
meta's
16,
yeah, the meta's obligating the supports to stay in their lanes, which makes the kind of unconventional mid, like Drow mid and Dusa mid, actually can work.
Radiant team pick.
so it's going to be an Undying. Spicy Thieves tripling down on that team fight play. Undying also pretty good against the Sand King in at least in being able to force him to not just stand there in the sandstorm, because you can get those decay stacks off, and Sand King is not happy about that.
Well,
And
Sand King, I feel like, does decent because it's his
10
caustic
seconds to
getting the
pick.
last hits and not his actual right click, so he can kind of avoid that.
5 seconds.
yeah,
remaining.
yeah. But in terms of the team fight presence,
Yeah, you do not want to be a strength hero against Undying.
additionally, so far it's going to be next to impossible for Sand King to be able to blink into these fights effectively between the
Yeah.
Tombstone and the
Fire.
yeah the egg and the fire spirits and just all that nonsense. Probably going to be an urn coming out as well.
Hmm.
But once deep sets, they're going to go ahead and grab the Clinks here. I really like this. So the
Not
Clinks,
super gankable. I guess Phoenix is pretty gankable, but
yeah, but not for the ganking. Like Clinks does a lot of damage, dominates his lane, could go mid or safe lane, or even in the off lane, just like depending on how the lanes shake out. And he will always be able to kill off either the egg or the tombstone, whichever one is more prominent right
Only 10
then.
seconds.
Like he's never gonna have
Lane-
any issues doing that.
typically a lane dominator.
5
Yet to see what
seconds remaining.
the dire mid is.
If he is the mid, sometimes we do see the Clinks. I mean, we could have seen the Clinks in,
In
every
a safe
position.
lane.
Well,
Yeah, really. He can core in any lane.
yeah.
Tiny. Play all 5 positions in any lane.
yeah. That not quite the flexibility level of a Tiny, but
Position 5 Tiny, not yet a thing.
not yet. I mean, if I'm trying to think of a scenario where 5 position Tiny becomes a thing, but it's
Throw
not
Jungle
there.
Bear into combat.
Lol. That that would be quite the lineup there.
Do like what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, the All-Star game? It's like drafted around a techies.
Oh yeah. That was a fun game to watch. Lots of feeding from both sides.
Oh my gosh, it was pretty sad actually. Techies did nothing. All right, Terrorblade. That's
Yeah.
a carry.
Yep, that's gonna be their safe lane, and this draft is shaping up really well for Spicy Thieves right now. Like they have all the team fight in the world. They can let Terrorblade sit back in the back lines, and wait to use meta.
How does Clinks do in ganking Terrorblade? TB has really high armor.
He's okay, but Terrorblade eventually gets a Manta, so he can't go. He can rush an Orchid and go get a couple of ganks. But like you say, with the armor, if he rushes the Orchid, then he's not going to have the damage to kill him off. If he rushes the Deso, he's not going to be able to prevent the Sunder. So it's a really difficult hero for Clinks.
And I'm looking up Clinks' damage type. Is that what type of damage is
It's
are his
physical.
arrows?
Yeah, his
Physical.
arrows are
Okay,
physical.
so yeah, he's disadvantaged there. Radiant running down their time.
Yeah, once deep sets, what do they get here? Like they need some kind of mid that'll like pull this around for them. And I feel like
The
it's
Clinks
worth
mid is
grabbing.
passable.
They could do the Clinks mid. Yeah, if they did that, then to deal with the Terrorblade, could they get away with a PL? Like PL's really, really good against Underlord for the offlane. Okay.
Underlord.
It's a little bit of area denial. It prevents the dive, which is nice, but it's not the most amazing thing in the world, I think, here.
So that's a 4 or 5 Sand King then, I'm sure.
Yeah. For sure. Against like 3 strength heroes and the high armor Terrorblade, the Firestorm is really nice. Arc Warden would be a pretty good pick for once deep sets. I mean, not an option anymore, but that would be pretty good for them.
Band, yeah.
Let's see.
The
What
Undying, yeah.
makes sense here? What do once deep sets want? I mean, if they take a safe lane, I actually am really liking the PL for them.
The PL for Radiant.
Yeah. because he's really good against Undying, and he's passable against Phoenix. But they're gonna go for the
Ember?
Ember Spirit.
So Dire has no lockdown at all, except for the rock from the panda.
That's true. Ember's gonna have quite the game. And it'll probably be a Master
Yeah.
Z34 Ember. Darth Heisenberg on the Clinks, I would expect, just based on their general playstyles.
10 seconds to pick.
But yeah, what do
5
Spicy Thieves do
seconds.
now? They already have the 2
Hurry.
supports. They need a mid lane that has
They need a stun.
or a silence. The
Or a
stun-
silent. Yeah,
But
they need the
they
lockdown.
can't have projectiles though. That's the issue. So maybe
Silencer banned out.
yeah, they're gonna go for the TA.
TA.
All right.
Okay. So if they do poorly in the lane, Dire is going to be very sad pandas.
yeah, Master G34 is gonna go mid. So Magi is gonna have a almost free lane in mid lane. TA is really good against Ember Spirit.
Definitely. And it's the Ember mid.
Yep, for sure.
Ouch,
Master Z34
yeah.
is their mid player. Maybe they'll switch up. Maybe Z34 will take the Clinks, or maybe he'll take Ember up to, or rather down to the safe lane. But
That Ember will get walloped mid.
yeah, I mean, honestly, he'll get walloped in any lane right now. There is not a winning lane for this Terrorblade, so they're gonna have to dedicate a lot of resources to protecting him. And
Try
keeping
lane?
him...
Try lane safe Ember? I mean, if you get farm on him, he's going to win the game.
Underlord's not the worst solo laner, but still, Tryon 2.
With
gonna-
Undying, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have good chase. If you buy a TP, you can get out.
That's true. There's no stuns actually.
Who are you favoring?
That's a difficult question. I think I favor Spicy Thieves because Master G34 has no lane to go to. And they don't really have a way to deal with... They can deal with one of the Tombstone, or one Steep Sets can deal with one of the Tombstone or the Egg. But they won't be able
that's
to
a
deal
good
with
point.
both.
And I think the Radiant is just, I'm feeling it. I think the Ember, if he can just get a little space, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
No natural. Well, I guess TA can build Orchid, but
he
not
is-
a lot of lockdown.
He is pretty good, and the Ember is pretty good against the Terrorblade as well. He would get a lot of damage without being close enough for that Sunder.
Time to forget the
Yeah.
So,
external pressures and life stresses
yeah, it
that
could go either way with the draft.
blot out the pain
It just
with
sort of
video
depends on how
games.
the lanes end up going. So it is going to be a safe lane Clinks. Darth Heisenberg taking that. Fructose playing on the 5 position. Crystal Maiden up in the off lane. Mr. Ping Pong playing the Underlord. Stick on that 4 position Sand King. And Master G34 going mid once again, this time taking the Ember Spirit. For Spicy Thieves, LD Keely going on the safe lane, Terrorblade, Cybonic on that safe lane, Undying. Mid lane, we will see Magi playing on the TA. Doesn't have quite as much pooling as his counterpart. Stimmate playing on the Brewmaster in the off lane, and Clammy playing on that 4 position once again. Going ahead and blocking up the side camp, so there's no pool opportunities there. As well as getting vision on this rune for potential dive play. It's risky, but I don't think that Fructose is going to be getting the Frostbite level 1. And even if he does, like, that's almost a win for you. As long as you don't die because of it.
Yeah.
I will
Looks
say,
like
this
it is
Phoenix set
the
looks
first
sick.
The Phoenix set?
Yeah, it looks sick. Looks fantastic.
The Phoenix of Ra, yeah.
So, are we going to see the dive play here in bottom? Looks like that's going to be a yes.
Here we go.
No Frostbite played just yet.
And resolve your differences.
Dive through. Is not able to pick that up.
2 for 2.
Yep, just do a little bit of harass. It has the dive level 1, but, you know, you're totally okay with that. Most of the time you'll be getting dive level 1 regardless.
Top is not a happy lane to be in for a melee. Sand King and Underlord.
Yeah, definitely hard.
Spam for days.
But at the same time, those are 2 strength heroes, so Undying is very happy.
True, true.
2 melee strength heroes at that. So it's going to come down to
Yeah.
just the way that the lane is played there. I find it really difficult to see how Master G34 wins this lane, though.
Yeah, mid is kind of the lane to
Besides just a
watch.
straight out play, which could be happening here. He did get that level 1 Flame Guard, so the refraction is not going to do a whole lot for Magi.
Yeah, those side blades are what's gonna turn the table.
Yeah, Cybonic is starting out with that decay, trying to get as many stacks up as possible. And just overall,
They're
like,
spread
I
out.
definitely would put top lane as sort of the, if lanes decide the game, just if it was a numbers game, how many lanes you win, I think top lane is the decider, right? Because
That mid and how TA does is gonna be very big. Gonna determine the tempo and the lockdown.
yeah, I do think that TA just wins this lane eventually. And I also expect that once Teep sets, will win bottom pretty handedly without too much trouble. It's going to be top lane where it's like, could go either way, right?
Yeah, yeah. Last hits are even mid so far.
Yeah.
And Underlord's doing pretty good.
Yeah, barring any straight up outplay. The side blades are leveled now, so Master G34 is going to start getting a lot of harass out from that.
2 points in the refraction.
Yeah, just those extra little hits makes it really nice. Magi is really far up on this hill. Master G34 looks like he's going to try to maybe go for a chains play, but he's taking a lot of damage right now. Yeah, he's forced out at this point. He does still have the chains. One more dies. Maybe he goes for it. No, he's going to wait. Wants to be a little bit less
No
greedy
south.
out of it.
Okay, couriering up mid.
Yep. There's an arcane rune. Should either team choose together? I will say I'm kind of surprised that Cybonic is like not doing so much in this lane. Stick and Mr. Ping Pong have done a great job of staying far enough away to not get ever caught in the double decay.
Yeah, they're splitting.
So yeah, it's pretty even unless it's
Even lanes, yeah.
yeah
Little
across
Clinks
all
is-
the lanes.
Clinks is having a hard time.
I'm surprised by that, honestly. I
Yeah.
feel like Clinks is not the hero that you'd expect to have a hard time last hitting. Maybe he's trying to do too much harass.
Oh, he's
Fructose.
getting he's getting Brawl Drunken Hazed.
Oh yeah.
And Spirited. Oh my gosh, that what cancer lane.
Oh man, that's gotta be frustrating. The spirits and the drunken haze together.
Here we are. Why can't he last hit? He can't last hit because he can't hit this.
Yeah, I can't hit them quickly or at all. So
Okay, top. Nothing going on.
yeah, Stick and Cybonic just battling it out over here in the side. Gonna have that pop there on the
Which,
caustic
I
finale, and
don't
now
know
they're gonna
if
get
Undying is the-
the Firestorm as
Ooh,
well
don't-
as the
Oh,
Burrow
oh,
Strike,
oh.
taking a lot of
Okay.
damage there.
Nothing happening very quickly. Very passive lanes.
Yeah, I'm so used to in this league seeing like just death after death after death in the first 5
brawl.
minutes. Yeah. It's
Okay,
a little
mid.
refreshing to see the new. A little bit lucky there on the searing
Oh,
chain. Till we get that,
committing.
Magi is
Not
eventually going to go
committing.
down.
Okay.
He could have refractioned there, I think, and turned it around. He had, let's see, that ticks at quarter seconds. So he had a second. No, it ticks at half seconds.
If it makes you feel better, I don't think the Ember knew if he was getting it. He was about to run away and then ran back in and then ran away and then got the kill.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And Bottle coming out for Ember, still the Arcane bot.
I do think that the Flame Guard ticks in half seconds, so he had 2 seconds, which would be 2 right clicks with the refraction before he took any damage. Yeah, I do think that Magi could have turned that around if he used the refraction, and he's going to try for it again, just hit Z34, but now he's going to get changed up. Taking a lot of damage, dealing a lot of damage, but taking a lot at the same time. Now he's blocked up by his own creeps, he's got to turn around if he wants this.
Oh,
he's
and
not
the
gonna
Fairy
get it.
Fire play.
Yeah, Master G34
Wow.
doing well. Has the bottle out now as well as the stick for even if he had required it, but did not end up.
And these kills are starting to put a little damper in TA's.
Yeah, I'm
last
honestly
hits.
really surprised. Like, Master G34 is playing really aggressively, and it's working out well for him.
Damage.
And Clinks is not yet able to make it above 10 CS.
Oh man, that's such a hard thing. Like, especially since
That's
you don't really
really
have any
tough.
kill potential here. Like, Crystal Maiden is not a very strong laning support right now.
This'll come in handy.
So Magi is not back out here, but level 6 comes out first for Master G34, and he has quite a bit of gold on top of Magi right now.
Being a
with
CM
those
player,
kills.
she's not winning her lane, but she's winning mid and top.
Oh man, 20 is like 1600. Magi right now has less than half of the net worth of Master G34. Cybonic getting just walked around by Stick right now. Yeah, the meta in terms of the way that the supports attack each other, and okay, here's going to be Burrow Strike after a Pit of Malice, and that is going to allow Pit of Malice to hit one more time. LDK taking a lot of damage to the Firestorm as a result. Stick trying
He's
to come
pursuing.
through and get one more right click. Yeah, he's going to get at least one more Caustic Finale burst out of that.
There we go.
And he still does have a Burrow Strike, just casually hitting people once, because the Caustic Finale will then burst you for another 15 damage. So totally
And
worthwhile.
TA going for stacks and hanging out in the jungle. The jungling of shame.
Yep, going for the recovery.
With a DD top.
Yeah, that's going to get picked up by Master G34, almost certainly. He's going to wait until he pushes this lane out and then go check the runes, but there's no way that Magi finds that first. So, LDK, I mean, LDK is still doing pretty well in terms of the CS overall. Like, actually, he was doing pretty well. He's not doing that well at this point.
And yeah, TA's not having happy game.
Yeah, with TA falling behind, this looks like once Deep sets, they are gonna win 2 of these lanes pretty convincingly in mid at this point, honestly.
Bot is sad. for
Yeah.
Iranian. The Dire are doing a very good job at shutting down the Clinks. And
Yeah, and these 2 heroes for Spicy Thieves, like, they don't care very much about getting farm themselves. Like, they're getting some, and they're doing, you know, a pretty good job of getting at least a little bit of CS up on the table. In fact, Stimmate is on top of his team's net worth, or on top of his team's CS charts. But they really only care about the levels. Like, they're going to be level 6, not quite at the same time as their mid laner, but not too far behind.
And this is not where you want to be in as an Undying. 7 minutes and still just absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's trying, but the way that Stick is just walking at the Undying while Mr. Ping Pong hits creeps makes it really hard. Oh, Master G34, we have another kill
Another
in mid
kill
lane.
mid, with the
3-0 at
DD
this
rip.
point. Yeah, DD doing a lot of
Wow.
work there. And what was bot?
Ooh,
Courier has the Courier has a lot of stuff for Magi on it. She was
the
waiting for
tips.
stuff. Bit of a
The tips
dive
are
coming
real.
in bottom lane. Stick has 1 second until he has the burrow. He is having available now, and now with the Firestorm, that will be the end. Stick actually gets the last hit, and he is able to survive for the time being.
Oh, he
Cybonic
needs to
just
be
needs
careful.
to. Well, Cybonic can heal himself up with the Soul Rip and then throw out another Decay. He's gonna miss the Decay though, because he did
dodged.
not see that Stick had walked out of it,
Dire's middle tower
and he's
is
looking
And
for
he's
Stick,
out of there.
but it's not gonna come. So 4-0 in
Not-
favor of One Steep sets right now. LDK coming back into this lane, just trying to get as
Ooh.
much done as he can while he's around. And
And a haste.
yep,
Haste
Master
ganking
G34 is
top.
coming up. He's looking for somebody, but yeah, he recognizes that's an illusion. Right now, Cybonic though, he's losing all of his HP. Master G34 is looking for
And he
somebody.
found him.
Finds LDK. Hasn't seen Cybonic just yet. Not enough mana now for the Tombstone, and that's going to be the vision on Cybonic they required. They are able to get
There we
LDK,
go.
but now they're going to see Cybonic on the backside. Maybe Master G34 goes for it. Nah, looks like he
And
just wants to
TA
TP back to
still
mid lane.
not capitalizing on mid. Again, Ember's back defending.
Nah, I didn't have the opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
just trying to get the stacks up. Darth Heisenberg able to get a kill onto Clammy down here in the bottom lane, turn around what has been a really almost disastrous safe lane for them. And at least get a kill out of it. Looking over
Bruce
net worth,
rushing
though.
Midas, hoping to hit a power spike a little later, I guess.
Yeah, looking over to net worth, the Sand King, the 4 position on One Steep sets is even with the mid lane right now for Spicy Thieves.
Ooh, does not feel good.
Yeah, it's like a Storm game, only on TA really shouldn't feel like a Storm game.
Yeah.
Master G34 just played his
TA
lane
can have a
fantastically
hard time
there.
recovering.
I mean, not the worst. Like, TA is fine at recovering in the jungle. You have that Psyblade to make it happen.
I guess fighting from behind is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
recover's
so-
good. The fighting from behind is can feel
Darth
pretty
Heisenberg
limp.
taking a lot of damage here. He decides to turn back around and try to hit Clammy, even though he wasn't dusted, just in the sentry range. Now
Going on to
Fructose,
CM.
though, he's going to go down, it looks like. There's going to be the Horror Boulder out from his Stimmate, but as his ult ends, he's just going to go ahead and back out. Top lane is going to go, or actually mid tower is going to go the way of Master G34. Top tower during that fight already had gone the way of Mr. Ping Pong. And 2 runes then for WSS, as well as 2 for Stimmate. So, excuse me.
Is this the right build for Ember Spirit? You build a Boots of Travel?
This game, yeah, I think it totally makes sense. Like, you're so far ahead, just use the Boots of Travel
Get
to push out all the lanes, keep a Fire Remnant back in base, and BOT out. They have no way to stop you from running away. Like, the only stuns they have are Hurl Boulder and Supernova.
I guess Underlord's gonna go the exact opposite build. He can't disable me, so I'm just going to turn into a big meat shield.
Yeah, he has that hood almost to a pipe after the Vanguard all finished.
Great net worth on the Underlord. This pretty scary for the Dire right now.
Yeah, Master G34 is going to take some damage here, but the Magic's going to get froze up. And now Master
Back
G34 is
in.
going to go in for
Triple.
the triple Fire Remnant and also maybe kill off Cybonic on the backside. He has to hit him. You have 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 to hit him. Oh man, he's letting his CM get that kill.
And then the CM's fighting all the zombies.
Oh my. Still has a healing stab out here as well. So having the BOTs, not even having to use them like in a defensive farming way, just having them in order to be able to move around the map should he require it. Now he's going to go back to base and start playing out the push out the lanes and farm all the lanes, sort of Tinker style of Ember play. Stimmate is able to get harassed out a little bit more. What in the world? Okay, he accidentally bought 2 belts of strength. I was really confused because he had 2 belts of strength in his stash, but that was just an accident, looks like.
So the Clinks isn't doing as bad as I would have thought from his last hits.
Yeah, he's keeping up, and it doesn't even matter at this point. Like his other 2 lanes won so convincingly that he only has to be all right, because he's 4th in net worth behind his own heroes. So Darth Heisenberg able to survive the lane, not give up any kills, and that's all you really need to do there. So Cybonic is going to pop that ulti there. It's not really going to matter. Master G34 getting a final hit there with the Sleight of Fist. Burrow Strike forward. And now the egg as well. That's going to be the egg is used to try to turn this around, but it's not enough. That's a really cool cosmetic, actually. I want it. But WSS Stick looks like, oh, he's not even going to die there. The tower is de-aggroed, and he's totally fine. Able to get another kill. 12 and 1 so far. Just WSS are completely dominating this game. But
alright, is this where we play the over-under game?
I mean, Spicy Thieves aren't giving up. And they're right not to give up.
They're still trying, yeah.
They still have the heroes to pull it out.
The Terrorblade, if he gets a little bit of space, gets some key items, he can take a tower down.
Oh no, Maji tried to use the meld there. Burrow Strike comes through, it's not going to hit. Stick is maybe going to go down here. He gets slowed up. Now he's going to get invisiblified, but Clammy coming through, trying to see him, uses the dust as well. But Stick's already going back the other way. Does not have a Burrow, but he does have a Sentry or a Mango. Looks like he ends up dying to the tower?
To a tower hit.
Yeah. He had the Mango and the Burrow Strike, but it didn't matter. He was dead regardless at that point.
Terrorblade 0, 3, and 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard game for Spicy Thieves to come back from. They can, like, they have the heroes to do it. It's just, can they do it fast enough, right?
Yep. Do they have enough time on their timed life?
So Master G34 using his stick charges pretty effectively there. Maji's gotten a second slow off on him, though. Now there's also going to be the final right click. The salve was not enough.
Only 718 gold.
Yeah, it's going to come back, though. Burrow Strike, a lot of heals coming through from the Soul Rip. Machi might survive here because of that in the wand charges, and it looks like, yeah, he will. Now Mr. Ping Pong trying to hit up the Tombstone, but does not have really the attack speed to make that happen. Stick is going to have to Burrow Strike himself away, and Mr. Ping Pong is going to go down. Therian gets the last hit on that one. So both cores from Spicy Thieves able to get quite a bit off that turnaround. Meanwhile, this bottom tier 2 is going to go down. Darth Heisenberg is hitting it, but actually Fort used. And meanwhile, looks like Stimmate got Fructose here on the backside.
Dive in the tier 2 mid.
Yeah, with his Brewlings.
Doing Brewmaster things.
Stick has his Blink Dagger now, though. He's going to go ahead and get that Blink Burrow forward. Now he's going to cast his ultimate, and there's nothing here from Brewmaster to prevent this. Going to try to TP away. Not going to be able to get it in time. Stick actually gets the last hit there, but Master 234 very instrumental in that. Darth Heisenberg looks like he's trying to track down Cybonic right now, and Master Z34 is here as well. Gets the Searing Chains. Now there's going to be the root as well. The Pit of Malice coming out from Mr. Ping Pong. Darth Heisenberg hitting him down, and Master Z34 gets the end of that. Just a little bit more net worth on top of being almost at twice the net worth of anybody on Spicy Thieves right now.
And the 4 bounties go to Radiant.
Yep.
Good map control, map awareness for them.
Absolutely. LDK was trying to make that happen, but Stick was just in the area and didn't let him have even the 1 bounty rune. So Master G34 now does have his Maelstrom complete, in addition to having another 2,500 gold to get whatever he likes on top of that. I wouldn't, you know, most games I feel like the Radiant is just overkill, like, or Radiance is just overkill in Ember, like it's not worthwhile, so especially not worth the 5,000 gold, but I honestly wouldn't even hate it this game on Master G34 right now. He's so
Yeah,
far
because I
ahead.
mean, normally this is the point in the game where you go, okay, Manta, BKB, Yules, but
It also
why?
always
Why
gives
would
you
need
the
it?
refraction pop and doubles the speed at which you would pop the refraction if you have the flame guard up.
Yeah, you just, I mean, if
Bottom tower is
you don't need to get away from him, then run at him.
Yep. So Desolator is going to be the item that Maji's going to look for before he even has the Blink Dagger, which is going to be primarily for just trying to get some damage out, I presume. But not going to have the initiation thing you really like to have. Stimmate throwing out that Drunken Haze onto Darth Heisenberg. Can't hit the tower anymore. And Master G34 just going to hit it instead for his friend. A little bit of zone out from the Pit of Malice. And Clammy trying to hit a couple of these Fire Spirits. Not really going to be able to get onto them. Now there's
looks
those
like
Sleight of Fist
Ember's-
Searing Chains. And Ember actually looks like he's going to back
Okay.
away off of that. Stimmate coming forward and forcing everybody out for the time being. However, it is an 11k gold lead for One Steep Sets.
And Ember's gonna get the recovery Battle Fury.
Well, he just wants to deal with the Terrorblade illusions eventually. I think this makes sense.
There you go.
And he'll be able to use this to farm very quickly, push out the lanes. Like, Radiance makes sense in this game, and, you know, very few games, but this game it does, but so does the Battle Fury for sure.
Battle Fury makes sense too. Yeah, they're if you're what twice the net worth of the TB, then you kind of
Yeah.
do what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Stick coming in with a little bit of just cheeky Burrow Strike Sandstorm, no detection available, so he's going to be totally okay with that and just say, you know, LDK, you can't farm here. You here? That's not okay. It's
You shall not pass.
It's not LDK. Sorry, that was really bad. I have no apologies, however.
All
I lied
right,
about being sorry.
Sand King making plays with Invisrunes. Just
Yeah.
the
All these
Radiant.
camp blocks as well, like, that's pretty huge.
You get control of the map and you get to do what you want with it. Yeah.
Stick actually, he's sitting here. Oh, he was maybe thinking that the Sentry would expire, was sitting for the camp to potentially respawn and block that. But
Brew. I think a Brew kill could breach the high ground for him.
maybe.
Okay, Brew's backing up. Now he's not.
Yeah, Fructose over here.
Oof.
Yeah,
Poor
he's
Clinks.
in the area, but Clinks can't hit anything. Darth Heisenberg, like he just gets always controlled up by that Drunken Haze. Now mid lane we're gonna see a bit of a fight. It looks like, or at least the makings of a fight. Gonna have the dive, Icarus dive forward onto Mr. Ping Pong. And he's immediately gonna Dark Rift out.
Yeah,
He's-
he's outnumbered. Oh, and
oh,
Ember going
Ember
in.
got pulled back. He was considering going in
Okay.
with that, but he just went out with
Got-
with Mr. Ping Pong.
Got phoned home.
That's cool. That's cool. Mr. Master Z34, I think, wanted to stay there and do things because he had a remnant back. Oh no, he didn't have a remnant back. So that was really risky going in like that. I'm
That yeah,
surprised.
that was. I think accidentally slurping him out was the right play.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe maybe it wasn't so accidental. Just like making a space for him to be able to get out for free.
Yeah, there you go.
Fructose.
Saving Private Ryan.
Meanwhile, man, it feels bad as a support in this game. Like, the more farmed support has Tranquils for the position 5s. And meanwhile, Cybonic is sitting here just with the brown boots. At
Oh,
20 minutes.
and Terrorblade is getting hunted down by Clinks. NCM.
Yeah, they're looking for him. Is there detection here for that? There isn't, but they're not going to go for it. Like, One Steep Sets are being really, really careful because they gave away 4 kills last time they tried to take a major team fight, right? So they're just getting up their items and making sure that they can expand their gold lead, and they have by 1k over the course of the last 4 or 5 minutes. And now they're going to want an LDK. They are able to get that, and even he's able to remnant back. Gets the double remnant in, or the triple remnant in, even with the
And
remnant
then one
being tied
out.
back
Yeah, that
already.
was cool.
Well played there from Master
This'll come in
G34.
handy.
Wow. It's crazy though. I mean, they're considering pushing high ground, but the res time is still 20 seconds for the carry.
Yeah. It's only a 20-minute game right now. It's just
Yeah.
One Steep Sets are so far ahead. It feels like more.
And I believe Radiant got the last round of bounties as well.
Yeah. There was nobody up in top to take that except for Clink. Darth Heisenberg still pushing out. Does have the Desolator complete. Maybe the
Yep.
makings of a bit of a team fight here in the mid lane. Master G34 is considering it. Has that Battle Fury finished as soon as he goes back to base? Which he probably will do as soon as he has the BOTs. So now some push into mid, maybe a little bit of engagement up here by Darth Heisenberg. Gonna get slowed up there by the Dust as well as the Drunken Haze.
Dusted.
Oh,
but
meanwhile,
again,
actually,
no.
bottom lane gonna lose. Once Deep Sets are gonna lose Mr. Ping Pong, probably to a Sunder. Not even to a Sunder. He just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, ends up going down. Now they're looking for Magi, but Magi has that Desolator, is able to get the Crystal Maiden as well on the backside. Spicy Thieves have been very patient and incredibly disciplined in what picks they try to go for and which ones they let go, and have been farming the whole time as they do so. Like,
Yep.
they're behind. They're still very far behind, but they're doing a really good job of holding it and keeping themselves in this game.
The only unfortunate thing is that Radiant has the rest of the other 66% of the map to hang out on.
That's true, that's true. So here's going to be a Burrow Strike forward onto Magi. He's going to go ahead and try to invis himself, and he's going to take a lot of damage. Also going to have the root coming through very shortly, which is going to get vision, and able to right-click him off that. Tries to do damage to Master Z34 as he's going out, but it is not enough at all.
Wow, that is a fat Underlord.
For sure. He has the full Crimson Guard, BOTs, not even going for the pipe, he's going to go for the Yules instead, just to give himself a little bit of
Yules
extra
is
survivability.
for, yep, catch, I guess, too.
Yeah, it'll also prevent, I mean, they have plenty of catch. I think the Yules is more of a survivability play.
Gotcha.
Like, he did die once, and he's... Yeah, he's died twice. The only other person who's died twice is the Crystal Maiden on his team, so... I think it's more of a survivability play, even if it's not strictly required. Also giving the mana to, like, constantly spamming your spells. There's going to be that...
Ooh.
Oh, my Jesus. That's 2 kills
Earthshaker
right
plays
off.
here.
Yeah, with that Epicenter and the double Burrow Strike, that's a lot of damage out onto Spicy Thieves. They are going to lose 2. And now this Barracks is going to go down as well. Oh, man, the dodge. Blink Burrow Strike, but it's not going to hit due to the Brewmaster ult there. The Brewling split. LDK has to run
Poor
away.
TB got
He uses meta,
riced
but-
by 1 Rain of Fire.
Yep. Attempted a turnaround here for Spicy Thieves as they come out of the base, but the
Which
Dark
they're-
Rift is...
You're right,
not
they're
gonna let
playing
it happen.
disciplined. They didn't need to run, but they did.
They don't... I mean, Magi does a lot of damage right now, and still has the potential to, like, pull this game back. As does, of course, LDK, because Terrorblade is just ridiculous in the late game. Is almost up at that Manta, and is still farming out. There's the Blink Burrow
Stopping
Strike
for the
forward
BKB.
here, out onto Phoenix. Is going to get Yules now out of his dive. Also going to get rooted. He uses the ult there. He has enough Fire Spirits out that made it very difficult for the VSS to actually finish him off inside of that Supernova, but just not quite enough. Making space, though. Making space for Magi to farm, making space for LDK to farm. If that BKB comes out on Magi, like, it's almost a different game. And it looks like LDK is going to go for BKB instead of Manta. So 2 BKBs. Once those come out, if Spicy Thieves is able to survive that long, which is a big if, because here's the Blink Burrow Strike after the Pit of Malice and a Sleight of Fist Steering Chains.
The pick off.
It's so difficult for Spicy Thieves right now. But they are playing the way they need to in order to pull it back, if it is possible. Another Sleight of Fist Steering Chains, and just gets the crit. Blink Burrow Strike forward as well. That's going to be the end of Clammy once again.
2 lanes are axed down.
Yep. And the third lane looks like they're just going to cut for it. Terrorblade was cutting mid, is still cutting mid, and trying to get this tier 1, try to get some, just a little bit of gold for all of his heroes, or for his
And then
team.
the hard part, the Terrorblade, how can he tee off? I mean, there's no Earthshaker or real big playmaker. I guess the Brew can go in and cause a little chaos, but
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. Brew does have the blink. Looks like he's going to go ahead and use that Primal Split now, but the backdoor just comes back. There's a blink forward. Oh, GG is called. Okay. GG comes out. Spicy Thieves are going to go ahead and call it. Beside there's
Pretty-
not really a good way for them to come out. So.
Pretty handy victory. They definitely earned it too. That great draft, great laning.
Yeah, Once
Good
Deep Sets
follow-up.
played it really, really well. So that's going to be 2-0 in favor of Once Deep Sets tonight. And yeah, just really, really well played by Once Deep Sets. So like they held control of the game. They were super disciplined about how they came through the game overall, and just slowly but surely pushed Spicy Thieves into their base, closed off the map, played, solid Dota.
Lockdown, OP.
Yeah. It would have been probably a little bit easier for Spicy Thieves if they had any stuns, but c'est la vie. So I have been Knifefan at twitch.tv/Knifefan, joined by Rit tonight. Rit, do you have a Twitch?
I do not.
All right, well, Rit, you can watch also at twitch.tv/Knifefan then when he comes in for the cast. And also in the client, you can watch these on the Premier Amateur Community League Season 2 ticket. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time.